Hello, we're going to make some pom-poms using some old wool and some card. We'll need a few other things as well just to start off, which is something that you can draw around, like these cans or a cup or a little jar, you know, like a little bowl. A pen is always useful. And some scissors. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to make ourselves something like this. This is, we put these two pieces together and it's how we make our pom-pom in this technique. And I'll come back to that in a moment. But first off, you can make these card inserts out of any old card that you've got hanging around. I've got these scraps here. You can also make it out of some packaging. One of the ones I've made is out of that and it's lovely. So I'm just going to do this for ease now. I'm going to make it out of this piece of old bit of card I found in the cupboard. And I draw around it as precisely as possible. And I've folded this over so that when I do this now and cut it out, I've got two pieces the same. Okay? Right, put that on one side. So here I've got my two pieces of circular-ish pieces of work, and I'm going to take a coin. 2p coin is good for this because it's the biggest round coin, and find the circle, the middle, and draw around that. And then I'm going to fold all of these over in half so that I can cut out my circle. So I just cut it up to the line. And then I fit my scissors in to the hole I've created by cutting up to the line. And then I'm going to cut this inner circle out as neatly as possible as well. So that's that cut out, and I've got two donut shapes now, and I'm going to make sure that these stay together like this. I want them to be together. It's important that we have two and that they are together. And then we're going to start. I'm going to put that on one side. I'll put it here so you can still see it. I have lots of little balls of wool, and it's important that these little balls of wool are quite little as well. If you've got a big ball of wool or lots of little scraps, it's helpful to twist them around your finger like this to make a really small ball of wool that is going to fit in the centre of here, that you can squeeze in there. So I'm turning it over around my fingers like that, and then I pull it off and I do it again so that it's kind of compact. And then I'm going to start by pushing this through here. I'm going to hold on to this piece of wool here, look, with my thumb. Push the piece of wool through and then keep going round like this to cover up all of my orange donut shapes that I've made there. And I really want to not see any of the orange by the time I finish this pom-pom. And I'm going to keep, can you see that I just keep wrapping and wrapping and pushing the wool through the centre. And when I get round to here and I go over the first bit that I started, the first piece there, I can stop holding on to it now. I can just keep popping this in, forcing it through the middle. When this happens, it gets a little bit messy. So I tend to try and do it again, so that I've got a neatness and a speed. So I'll do this again. Take it off my fingers. Oh, and do this as well. And then I can carry on pushing it through the centre around the donut, into the middle, around. So I'm wrapping wool around this whole edge here. Now I'm going to show you what happens when we get to the end of the wool now, because let's say we've finished that. So let's just chop that little bit off there. If I come to the end of the wool and I want to add another colour, I've got this piece here. This is quite thick, but I'm going to try and force it through. And I'm going to attach this to here. What I can do is just leave it open, but it just makes it a bit easier if I tie these two together in a little knot. You can tie however you like, and you can just leave it loose because we'll trim it later anyway. And then I'm going to take this piece of wool, this little ball of wool I've made, which is quite thick actually, but I'm just going to keep forcing that through there. In fact, I think I might make this a little bit smaller because it's too chunky to go through that middle. Once again, spin it round my hand, my fingers for a little bit. Until I've got it in a nice kind of shape to be able to continue doing this job here. Keep going round. Right, and we have to keep doing this until this is really thick. I'm going to put this on one side and I'm going to show you. So can you see how I've covered this here? Yeah, so I can't really see. I can see bits of the blue underneath, so I need to continue with this one. So this is where I would attach another piece of wool there. In fact, I'll show you how I'd do it if I wasn't tying them together. I'm going to just put my thumb on it and keep pulling this round. These colours are a little bit too similar for this film, so you probably think they're of the same colour. You won't be able to see them so well. Anyway, I'll just keep going and going and going and going until I have one that looks a bit more like this. Can you see how it's got a bit thick? I can still see different colours underneath. Oh, it's got a bit thick there. I'm going to carry on with this and look at the hole in the middle. The hole has got much smaller as well. So it was important to start with a hole that was bigger, and then it gets smaller. And so this gets much more difficult. So you have to really thread smaller pieces of wool through. And it gets a little bit tougher. But it's fun to do, and it keeps us good, and you can do it as slowly or as fast as you like. Okay, so I'm just going to finish wrapping some pink around this blue layer of pom-pom. And I'm going to pretend that we finished all of that, because it will take me a long time. Okay. And really you go until you can't fit any more in, and it looks like a nice even edge around it. Now the next thing to do is to get yourself a piece of string, a piece of wool like this, that is quite long, and have it ready on the side, because this is what we're going to tie our pom-pom with, and we have to have it ready. So we've got our piece of wool here, and we've got our pom-pom in the making, and holding on tight we're going to snip all the edge of this until we can see inside the little pom-poms, the two donuts together. So can you see how I'm cutting that there? If you've got sharp scissors like these, These are great because they're really sharp and pointy, so I can get them right into this space. If you have big fat scissors like this, then I would, and they're blunt, I just kind of do it a little bit at a time until I've got there. It's just a slower process. But do try and use sharpish scissors because it gets a little bit difficult and makes our hands ache a little bit. So some nice sharp scissors. I'm going to go back to my nice sharp scissors. These are specially sewing scissors that we put in this kit for pom-pom making. It makes it easier. Okay, so I am cutting all around this edge here. Keep going and persevering. Now this is a very important bit because we don't want to lose all of our wool off our pom-pom. And for it to just be a load of loose wool. I've got one more little piece there to cut. There we are. And now this should be, can you see that there's the, you can see the two cardboard inners there. And what I want to do is kind of separate them just a little bit, enough for me to be able to get this piece of wool inside. So I'm going to open it a little bit, and then I'm going to slide this inside here, then turn it upside down. And I am actually going, I want these two pieces of wool a similar length. So I'm just going to pull that up there. And then I'm going to pull this really tight enough so that it goes right inside there, really tight. And then I'm going to put a knot in it, right inside, so it's gone right inside there. Can you see? Look, there's a little bit of wool I haven't cut there. And then I'm going to go round it once more and tie it on this side as well, just for safekeeping. And a knot again. And then this is the exciting bit where we pull this, we hold on to the middle still just in case, and pull that side off. And then we pull this side off, and then we fluff it up. We've got ourselves a little pom-pom. Now, it might be a bit tatty around certain bits. Some bits might be longer than others. Like if you fluff it up like this, I can see that there's one little bit length there. So we trim that, and trim it until you're happy. But don't over trim because we end up with some bald ones, won't we? We don't want a bald pom-pom. Get rid of those little bits. That bit's a bit long. And also try not to cut this bit here, because this is how you're going to hang it, if either from in your window or in your house. I'm going to chop that bit off though. So the knots I made earlier. Or you can hang it in your garden, or you can hang it off your doorknobs or on your cupboard doors. There we go. And you could make them all in different colours. Like rainbows, and then you could have like a rainbow of pom-poms in your window, like they're doing with the rainbows. I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll give you another little demonstration on how to do them using a pom-pom maker in a minute. Okay, have fun. Bye.